Welcome back. All right. Today I'm going to talk about the Calgary Flames as I continue to look at teams in the National Hockey League this offseason. This is the 21st of 32 teams, so 11 days from now, this series will be done. But at any rate, the Calgary Flames are in an interesting position. They have a lot of cap space. They were a team that were right in the hunt for the playoffs until the very last game. They ended up tied with the Blues in points, 96 points. The Blues just had 32 regulation wins. Calgary had 31. There's a lot of reason to look at the Calgary Flames this past season and say, hey, this was a tremendous success, and look forward to the future and what might happen. The thing is, this summer there have been rumors around Nazem Kadri and whether or not he's going to get moved, and I haven't seen anything really concrete when it comes to a Kadri move other than people speculating, for the most part. Then there's Rasmus Anderson. Reports that if he's going to get traded, that he'd prefer to go to Las Vegas, and I haven't heard much about those rumors recently, but they can always crop up between now and September or between now and opening night, which is October 7th. We'll see what happens. So it does feel like the Flames are one of those teams that probably isn't done with the moves that are going to get made. Their cap space, $15,412,500. And one thing that Craig Conroy, the general manager, would likely be looking to do in any kind of moves that he makes is help to fix the offense problem they had this past season, 2.68 goals scored per game being 29th and all that. So it does feel like the Calgary Flames are potentially a team to watch this season, but it's going to depend on what happens from here until the opening puck drop, and whether or not they can find more offense, either from the guys who are currently on this roster, or if they can take that cap space they have and perhaps go out and find a way to fix that problem as well. Conroy has not made any indication that this is not going to be a approach with patience when it comes to the retool/rebuild that's going on with Calgary. Of course, for Ryan Huska, he doesn't have any pressure on him at this point either. I think he got more out of this team than anyone expected last year, so we'll see how it goes. Now, looking at their lineup, Jonathan Huberdeau has a $10.5 million cap hit until 2031. The contract's not great, agreed. But he played well this season, 81 games, 28 goals, 34 assists, 62 points. The 28 goals are noteworthy. Huberdeau, throughout his career, known for being a pass-first forward, and if he's going to start scoring goals as well, it definitely helps. And if the Flames were a better overall team, I think he'd be closer to a point per game. Blake Coleman, 82 games, 15 goals, 24 assists, 39 points. I love Blake Coleman's game. I think he can get back to about the 50-point mark. I'd be kind of surprised if he didn't. Yegor Sharangovich has a $5.75 million cap hit until 2030. He's played 73 games this past season, 17 goals, 15 assists, 32 points. And then on that fourth line, you have Ryan Lomberg. You know what Lomberg's going to bring. You know what his game is. Understanding he is a fourth line forward. Down the middle, it's Nazem Kadri. $7 million cap hit till 2029, which if they're trying to trade him, there may be teams that look at that cap hit and may have to move money out to bring him in. Of course, the Flames are more than willing to bring on money. Kadri, 82 games this past season, 35 goals, 32 assists, 67 points. So why would you trade Kadri after a really good season? Probably because he just had a really good season, and if you're going to trade him, his value is probably the highest right now that it's going to be. So we'll see if that ends up happening or not. Backlund is a free agent next summer. He has a $4.5 million cap hit this year. So if the Flames do find themselves in this retool still, there's the possibility Backlund becomes available around, say, trade deadline. 76 games, 15 goals, 17 assists, 32 points for Backlund. Morgan Frost, a bit of a tough adjustment for him to Calgary. 32 games, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points. He has a $4.38 million cap hit until 2027. And Pospisil's on that fourth line. Pospisil, I think there's still a little bit of offensive potential there. But that being said, on the fourth line, he's probably not going to get a ton of points. On the right side, you have Connor Zary, who's still a restricted free agent. So that's going to eat into some of that money. It shouldn't eat into a ton, really. 54 games, 13 goals, 14 assists, 27 points. Good season. But I don't know that it's necessarily 7 or 8 year extension territory that we're looking at for him. Probably a bridge deal. Probably a cap hit similar to Frost. Probably higher than Frost's, but we'll see what they do. And then Coronado, $6.5 million cap hit until 2032. 77 games this past season, 24 goals, 23 assists, 47 points. Coronado's able to score more than that. I think we'll probably see more than that out of him this season. Joel Farabee. So while Frost had a hard time with the transition from Philly, Farabee much the same. 31 games, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points after the trade from Philadelphia. And he has a $5 million cap hit till 2028. So Farabee's going to be looking to get it back together right out of training camp this year with Calgary. And then on that fourth line, likely Klapka, although there is definitely some competition for that job. Kirkland, who was having a pretty darn good season before going down with injury this past year, he will get every opportunity, I would think, to make this team. Always head off a sneeze. Dryden Hunt. Suniev is on that list as well. Morton, who got into a game this past season. Honzek, former first-round draft pick. Cairns, who looked decent in a call-up. And Clark Bishop's there as well. So there's some good depth up front. There's definitely some candidates for a fourth-line job here, just in case, maybe if Klapka ends up being the 13th forward. Then you get to the blue line. Kevin Ball got paid, didn't he? $5.35 million cap hit till 2031. Good for him. 73 games, 3 goals, 17 assists, 20 points. It is nice to see defensively minded defensemen getting paid well. That is something that's nice to see. There was a time where basically your offensively minded defenseman got all the money and your defensive defenseman got a nice hearty handshake and maybe a nice punch on the shoulder of, hey pal, thanks for all your hard work. Rasmus Anderson's $4.55 million cap hit. He's in the final year of that contract. That is tradable. 81 games, 11 goals, 20 assists, 31 points. So we'll see what happens with Anderson if he ends up being in training camp as a Flame or if he ends up going somewhere else. But again, Conroy doesn't sound like is going to get ripped off on any kind of trade involving Anderson. Mackenzie Weegar, $6.25 million cap hit until 2031. 81 games played, 8 goals, 39 assists for 47 points. Weegar's been, I think, a bargain at that cap hit, to be honest. And then Miramanov, 44 games, 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points. Is this the year where Miramanov takes off? We'll see. And then you got Jake Bean and Pahal rounding out your bottom two. And there's definitely a lot of players who are going to be trying to win their spot in that top 6, including Hanley, who's a veteran, Solovyov, Parekh could be an interesting one to watch here because he does believe he can make the team, and I think the Flames are hoping he makes the team. It would push somebody out of this top 6, unless Anderson's gone at that point. Then you got Brstevich. Brstevich is seen as a very good prospect as well. Cicek, Kuznetsov, Poirier. You can see why Anderson being on the trade block makes some sense if you're the Flames. And if they're not concerned with making the playoffs this year, if they're still viewing themselves as being in this retool rebuild, you may not have to replace Anderson with another defenseman. You may be able to use that depth to your advantage, like I mentioned, Parekh. Solovyov's one, too, that's got into some games and looked pretty good, so we'll see what they end up doing. And then in net, it is really Dustin Wolf's net, isn't it? 2026, he's a restricted free agent. He's going to get paid. 29-16-8 record this past season, a .910 save percentage. He is the reason that they stayed in the hunt for a playoff spot. While Vladar played well, too. It really was Wolf that put up the results and kept them in the running for that playoff spot. Now, the backup spot, they signed Prosvetov. Prosvetov played in the KHL this past season, had a record of 20-16-2 and a .920 save percentage. But they also have Devin Cooley in the mix for that backup spot. And so whoever doesn't win that backup role would, I think, end up getting sent down to the Wranglers. Unless Prosvetov has an out that if he gets sent to the Wranglers, he can instead go back to the KHL. There are times where a goaltender might have that option. A player might have that option. So it will be interesting to see if either of those goaltenders is a backup, whether it's Cooley or Prosvetov, if they're able to get enough games to avoid burning out Dustin Wolf. That's the one concern I have looking at this team is, so does Wolf play like 6 out of every 7 games? Are we going to see like sometimes he's playing back-to-backs because they need these wins? It really could depend on what they do with this roster. If Anderson and Kadri go out and if they go with youth and prospects and draft picks for him, then maybe then you play your backup more because you're going to be out of the playoffs anyways kind of thing. So it will be interesting to see how an Anderson or Kadri trade takes place, should it take place. I think of the two, I think Anderson's very likely to get dealt. I'm less convinced with Kadri that he's going to get dealt because he is their number one center. Yes, his trade value is pretty high right now, comparatively speaking, with prior to this past season. But what would they get back for him, and what could that look like? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon.